They had it all before they were even old enough to drive. Red carpets, millions of fans, fortune, fame, and a future that seemed unstoppable. But somewhere along the line, everything unraveled. From mental breakdowns to addiction, from court cases to complete disappearance. The question we all ask is the same. Why do so many child stars fall apart? Today, we're diving into the dark truth that Hollywood doesn't want you to see. Because behind the glitz and glamour is a machine. One that often chews kids up and spits them out. And if you think it only happens to a few troubled celebrities, think again. This story runs deeper than you know. The entertainment industry loves a good success story, but it thrives on tragedy. While we watch young stars like Amanda Bynes, Macaulay Culkin, Lindsay Lohan, and Britney Spears rise to fame, what we don't see is the psychological toll behind the scenes. These were children who became icons, not through choice, but through profit. And as they stumbled, the world watched, often with popcorn in hand. Let's start at the beginning. Most child stars don't ask for fame. Their careers often begin with parents, agents, or managers pushing them into auditions, sometimes as early as 3 or 4 years old. What starts as a cute commercial or a Disney appearance quickly spirals into million-dollar deals and overwhelming attention. The child becomes the product. And the darker twist? They often become the family's primary source of income. Drew Barrymore was drinking alcohol by age 9 and in rehab by 13. Her breakout in E.T. made her America's sweetheart. But no one asked if she was okay behind those wide eyes and movie star smile. Macaulay Culkin made tens of millions as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, only to become estranged from his parents as they fought over his money in court. When a child becomes the provider, the roles flip. The parent is no longer the protector. They're often the manager. And that's where things get dangerous. There's no boundary between work and life. The child's needs, secondary to the next contract, the next paycheck, the next role. And then there's the pressure. Imagine being 12 and every move you make, every bad hair day, every stumble, every awkward phase is broadcast to the entire world. That's not childhood, that's a prison. Britney Spears was just 17 when she was asked in a live interview about her virginity. She was stalked daily by paparazzi, sexualized in media, and painted as both a role model and a cautionary tale, all before she was legally an adult. JoJo Siwa had to maintain an always upbeat, neon-clad persona, smiling through pressure while dealing with her own personal struggles behind the scenes. These kids grow up constantly performing, and nobody ever asks, what happens when the performance never ends? But it's not just the media. Hollywood itself plays a huge role in their unraveling. Child stars are often given unrealistic beauty standards, intense work hours, and a mandate to never grow up. They're cute, bankable, and adored until they aren't. The moment they hit puberty or express independence, the industry moves on. Look at Lindsay Lohan. She went from beloved Parent Trap star to tabloid punching bag overnight. Her struggles with addiction and arrests were splashed across every gossip site. But rarely was there compassion. She wasn't a human being anymore. She was a spectacle. Jake Lloyd, who played young Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 1, was so brutally bullied and harassed by the public that he quit acting entirely. He later developed schizophrenia and spent time in psychiatric care. Hollywood forgot him, but the damage remained. And here's the darkest layer: abuse. Emotional, physical, financial, even sexual. Jeanette McCurdy, once the bright star of iCarly, shook the world with her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, where she exposed the manipulation and control she faced from her mother and Nickelodeon higher-ups. She detailed being forced into roles, being given alcohol as a teen, and constantly being told her value was in how obedient and profitable she could be. Nickelodeon has faced multiple accusations of failing to protect its young stars, particularly under the leadership of producers like Dan Schneider. While some details remain murky, the common theme is clear. Children were not protected. They were exploited. Corey Feldman, one of the most famous child actors of the 80s, has been speaking out for years about a hidden ring of abuse in Hollywood. His best friend, Corey Haim, was allegedly a victim of repeated sexual assault, trauma that would eventually lead to his decline and early death. These aren't isolated incidents. These are systemic failures. A Hollywood built to extract talent, image, and money, and give little back in return. So, what happens when these kids grow up? The results are painful. Substance abuse, public breakdowns, mental health spirals. Amanda Bynes was once called the next Lucille Ball. Her comedic timing was genius, but behind the scenes, she was losing control. By her 20s, she was involuntarily hospitalized and placed under a conservatorship. Aaron Carter, the younger brother of Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, became a star before he hit double Tetras. But as he grew up, the fame faded, and he was left with addiction, legal battles, and eventually, a tragic death at just 34. And then there's Britney, the ultimate child-to-pop icon. After years of being controlled, surveilled, and commodified, she was placed under a 13-year conservatorship, her autonomy completely stripped. It took a global movement, #FreeBritney, to finally give her a voice again. The mental health implications of child stardom are massive. According to studies from UCLA and Stanford, former child performers are at significantly higher risk for depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and PTSD. Why? Because their identity was tied to applause. When the applause stops, they don't know who they are. But not all stories end in tragedy. Some child stars managed to take back control, but it wasn't easy. Selena Gomez, who started on Barney and Friends, has been open about her battles with bipolar disorder and lupus. But she's used her platform to advocate for mental health awareness and create safe spaces for others struggling in silence. Daniel Radcliffe, known globally as Harry Potter, built strong boundaries early in his career. With the help of a supportive family and therapy, he stayed grounded. He's now a respected actor and advocate for mental health. Mara Wilson, the beloved Matilda, left acting entirely. She became a writer and public speaker, using her story to shed light on how media shapes and often warps the lives of child stars. She once said, "Hollywood didn't ruin me, but it made sure I knew it could." So what makes the difference? Support, distance from fame, therapy, education, a chance to rediscover life outside the lens of a camera. And most importantly, regaining control of their own narrative. But the pressures are evolving. Today's child stars don't just deal with paparazzi. They face 24/7 social media scrutiny. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Every post is analyzed. Every mistake recorded. Child influencers, many as young as 5 or 6, are becoming full-time content creators, sometimes without legal protections. Their parents run the accounts. The money pours in. But again, where is the childhood? Laws like the Culkin Act were created to protect child actors' earnings, but even those are often bypassed or poorly enforced. For online creators, the legal gray area is even worse. The fame machine has simply changed shape, but not its appetite. And what about us, the viewers? We click the headlines. We share the memes. We joke about breakdowns. But we rarely pause to ask what it's doing to these people, or how we're complicit. Fame doesn't always equal freedom. And behind every childhood smile on screen might be a story we'll never truly know. The next time you see a child actor trending, ask yourself, are we celebrating them or setting them up for collapse? If this video opened your eyes to the hidden pain behind the spotlight, help us share the truth. Hit that like button to push this video to more viewers. Leave a comment below with which story shocked you the most, or one we didn't cover that needs to be heard. And if you want more raw, untold truths from the entertainment world, from the stories behind the headlines to the secrets Hollywood tries to bury, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because the showbiz spotlight might be bright, but the shadows are even darker.